Hi everyone, my name is Jen. I am a national color artist with Colors by Gina. I have been with the company for almost 4 years. I have other classes and tutorials on the Colors by Gina Facebook page and the Colors by Gina YouTube page, so go ahead and check those out too. But for today, I'm so excited. We are going to be working on a Cool Brunette. So this is my mannequin. This is what we're starting out with. She is previously highlighted. She needs some depth, she needs some dimension. We are going to add a darker root. I'm going to pull through color on the ends, but I'm also going to leave her dimensional by giving her some subtle, cool highlights. It's going to be with her existing highlights. We're just going to tone them a little darker. Here's the colors I'll be using today. 5.11, which is 5BB, that will be used on her base all over her roots. Then alternating through the lengths of her hair, I will be using 5.32, which is 5GV, and the 5.11, 5BB. These will be alternating through the lengths. I am going to leave out some of her old highlights. Then I will apply 9.1, which is 9B, on the remaining highlights left out. This will be so she gets those little pops of highlights, but cool toned, and there's not going to be a lot of them. It's going to be very subtle throughout the hair. I want to share with you some of the tools that I'll be using today that are also made by the Colors by Gina line. So we have the tapered and feathered fine point applicator brush, wonderful bristles. This has lasted over and over again. You can use it multiple times. And they also have these really nice bowls, and the bowls on the inside are textured for ease of mixing product. And they also have an area that has ripples so that you can also wipe off excess product and not be wasteful or messy. I also want to share with you that the Colors by Gina line comes in 3-ounce tubes. So this is great as far as saving money in the salon. The prices are very affordable as far as per tube cost. Versus a tube that's 2 ounces, you would only get maybe 2 root touch-ups. You're gonna get 3 heads, 3 root touch-ups with a 3-ounce tube if you're using 1-ounce portions at a time. Okay, I have my mannequin sectioned. I used 3 partings. Her natural part at the apex of the head behind the ear, and I'm using a V parting in the back. So we're gonna start at the nape of the neck. I'm going to do an all-over root touch-up first, then I will be doing some sectioning and some zigzagging and pulling that hair color through. Now I'll be applying the 2 shades through her lengths. It's going to be the 5.11, which is a light cool brown, and the 5.32, which is a light beige brown. So I'm going to be using still a V shape, but I'm going to be doing a zigzag pattern. And this is so all those colors blend and marry together. There's not going to be any hard lines of demarcation as far as blending these colors. Kind of like a little bit of a color melt. So this section here, I want this to be the darkest. I'm going to do this, the 5.11, which is 5BB. I'm going to saturate this entire section. This is the same color that was used on her roots all over. The next section I'm going to do is also going to be a zigzag, and I'm going to apply the 5.32. I'm going to keep in the diagonal V shape on the back of the head. You can see here the variations and the ups and the downs and how those colors will blend together with what is above it and with what is below it. So I'm going to take this entire section and saturate as well. This next section, I'm going to take a smaller amount. I'm still going to do the zigzag, but it's going to be a less thick section, and we're going to be applying the 9.1, which is 9B. This is going to act as a toner on her existing highlights and leave her with a little bit of lightness and dimension within the dark. I'm going to continue this up the back of the head, and on the apex, on the top of her head, I want to make sure there's a little like highlight on top. So that's the last color I'll be using on the top. Okay, on this top section here at the apex of her head, I do want some highlights showing, but I also want to have some dimension and depth in between those highlights. So I'm going to take the last section and do a deeper weave, a deeper zigzag, so that there is highs and lows through the entire section, and half will be colored the darker, which is the 5.32, and half will be colored the lighter, which is the 9.1. I will now be working on the side of her head. I'm going to be using diagonal backs, but still in a zigzag formation. So I'm going to start above the ear and work my way down and do a zigzag to behind the ear. This first section is going to be the darkest shade and the coolest shade, the 5.11. The next section up is going to be a zigzag formation as well, diagonal back. But we're going to pivot as we go up the head, so the degree of that diagonal back is going to lessen as I go up the head. And this is going to be the 5.32. The next section, I'm going to take a smaller zigzag, and that's going to be considered her highlight. Smaller, thinner section, and that's going to be painted with the 9.1. On this next section, you can see at the hairline here, I want to add a little bit of a pop of those highlights. So I'm going to do a small zigzag right in the front, and that's going to act as her highlight. We're going to tone it with the 9.1. So I'm going to do deep zigzags so that we're able to get some highlights and essentially some lowlights in the same section. So I'm doing a deep zigzag so that both colors show on the part line as a highlight and a lowlight. You're going to repeat these steps on the other side of the head, and you're going to process at room temperature, depending on the client's level that they were originally at, or if they have gray coverage, anywhere from 35 to 45 minutes. I am so excited to share with you the final look for today's Cool Brunette color class. Look at all that dimension and those lowlights running through. We have a deeper base color helping those highlights pop. Super soft and subtle highlighting, no lines of demarcation. Overall, she's multidimensional and multifaceted with lots of ribbons of color running throughout. I would love for you guys to try this technique or make your own formulations. Tag Colors by Gina and show off your work. I'll be teaching some classes in the near future, so look for those. Until then, I'll see you next time.